We're going to start off with a Clark Kessinger tune that we all learned from him. Clark Kessinger was a world-renowned West Virginia fiddler, and he was years ahead of his time in technique and style. And we're going to kick off with a little bit of a tune that he loved, Sally Ann Johnson.
Well, we want to introduce Robin Kessinger on vocals and also guitar. He didn't play a solo on that, but he's getting ready to on this song. And if American Idol ever has a senior division, Robin is the first candidate.
They'll kick me off because it uses that bad word in there, doesn't it?
Now, but we need to explain that now.
Okay.
This song's called Alabama Jubilee, and let's get this out of the way so we don't get fired from this job before we get paid.
Okay. All right. So you got to help me out on the chorus. The chorus is, and I do this almost every time I play, the chorus is, hail, hail, and it's not the bad one, it's H-A-I-L, okay? But they say that word the same way back home when they get mad. But this is like Hail to the Chief or Hail to the King, whatever. It's called Hail, Hail, the Gang's All Here for the Alabama Jubilee. And you sing that part with me, and you'll know how to do it by the time we get there. Let me give a little intro, Robert, all right? Old Deacon Jones, he can rattle them bones. Parson Brown jumping round like a clown. Aunt Jemima's been past 83, singing out with full of pep. Watch your step, watch your step. One-legged Joe dancing round on his toe. He threw away his crutches, hollered, I'd let him go, because it's hail, hail, the gang's all here for the Alabama Jubilee. Do that again, cause it's hail, hail, the gang's all here for the Alabama Jubilee. Pick it, Robert. Jones, he can rattle them bones. Parson Brown jumping round like a clown. Aunt Jemima's been past 83, singing out with full of pep. Watch your step, watch your step. One-legged Joe dancing round on his toe. He threw away his crutches, hollered, I can't get up, cause it's hail, hail, the gang's all here for the Alabama Jubilee. One more time, cause it's hail, hail, the gang's all here for the Alabama Jubilee. Thank you. Give yourself a hand. Thank you.
Good job, Robin. You gonna use that on your audition?
I will. That's
Okay,
right.
Cool.
Is there an age limit on that?
You need to learn some dance steps with that, and you'll be fine.
Okay. I gotta get my knees replaced.
American
first,
Idol
man.
Senior.
All right, got you. I'm gonna do it.
We were talking about Clark Kessinger earlier, and this is a song that Clark recorded. And Robin's father, who was a great mandolin player, who was also obviously influenced by Clark, played this. It's called Sweet Bunch of Daisies, and this is kind of a different vibe. It's very slow, and I hope you enjoy it. Key of C, you ready?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do another Kanawha Valley tune that a fiddler by the name of French Mitchell actually learned the tune, and he said he learned this tune from a fiddler that only used one finger on his left hand to play. I have no concept of how anyone could play this tune by using just one finger as many notes as this tune has in it. In either case, Clark Kessinger learned it then from French Mitchell, and I'm going to do something here if I don't tie my bow in a knot. When I teach workshops, people are interested in Clark Kessinger's triple bowing. I call it a triple bow jump. It's very difficult to do, even more difficult to teach, and at one time, Clark Kessinger was the only one who done this tune. And then for years, after his death, I was the only one, and I've taught it to a few of the younger people who have terrorized the South in fiddle contest. So here's one called Redbird. It's got, the air has hit it, so.
Just play it real fast, nobody will know the difference.
Okay, Redbird.
or
Yeah, we could do that. Moving on.
you want to tell them about it, Robin?
Sure. This is one I'd like to do I always do this one for kids at home. And I always tell them, I say, now you're not supposed to laugh at this song, you take it serious. And I tell everybody when I'm out in a place like this, I say, well, there's just a bunch of big kids out here, so I'm going to do this one for you. It's originally a Hank Snow tune. I don't know, some of the people in my generation probably remembering, but there were two guys that did parodies a while back. Their names were Homer and Jethro, and they're responsible for this one, and I like it. And Robert, why don't you give me an intro on that?
Well, I can try.
All right. Any speed you like. The old hound dog's feeling mighty fine till he fell into a barrel of turpentine. He's a-moving on. He's a-moving on. He hit the gate on 88. He's a-moving on. The old tomcat's feeling mighty mean till what did he do? The old tomcat was feeling mighty mean till he got his tail caught in the sewing machine. He's a-moving on, that's it. He's a-moving on. He ripped the stitch when he hit the ditch. He's a-moving on. We hired a man to work on our car, and he grabbed hold of the spark plug wire. He's a-moving on. He's a-moving on. He turned her loose when he felt the juice. He's a-moving on. Play, Robert. We know the fella that come from the city, and he picked up a little striped kitty. Now he's moving on. He's a-moving on. We held our nose while he buried his claws. He's a-moving on. The old man's face turned white as a sheet when his false teeth fell in his cream of wheat. He's a-moving on. He's a-moving on. He wiggled his ears and he shifted his gears. He's a-moving on. Old Uncle John got mighty clean when he fell into the washing machine. Now he's moving on. He's a-moving on. He just couldn't straddle that doggone paddle. He's a-moving on. Thank you.
You want to try some classical music?
We could do that.
We listen to pretty much everything other than modern country and rap. I'm speaking for myself. I love old country and I love most any style of music, but we try to take things from each genre, and this is a Mozart piece. I think it's called Rondo alla Turca or Turkish March, and I think there's a couple other names that I can't remember or can't pronounce. But a guy named Dan Crary arranged this for bluegrass guitar many years ago, and Robin and I picked it up, and we're going to attempt it. Turkish March?
Turkish March, and I understand that fella back home, Bill Lepp, he told us that the Mozart family, they lived in Beckley. They were from No Cabin Creek, West Virginia. He said that when you drive along the interstate, you know, they have one of those hysterical markers, and you read that, and it says, you know, about Jerry West being born here. If you go on a little bit farther, it talks about Wolfgang and Amadeus.
Yeah.
Understand they were from there, too.
I'm not sure that's the
That's what
same.
Bill told me. I keep looking for it.
I'm not sure that's the same folks, but we'll take that, you know.
All right.
We'll take that as fact, Robin.
All right.
One, two, one. 3.
Thank you.
Half-past 4? I think Bobby's going to play a fiddle tune here, which he will tell you about. But the lady back here in the back said to remind you folks, we have CDs back at the merchandise table, and we'll be back up there just as soon as the show's over. So if you want to take some of this home with you, they're back there, and it certainly helps pay the gas money. So,
And you might have your hubcaps when you go outside.
exactly.
The next tune that we're getting ready to do, I learned from the recordings of Blind Ed Haley. Blind Ed Haley was a predecessor, really, to Clark Kessinger. Clark learned a great deal, I think, from Ed Haley, and he always said that Ed Haley was the greatest fiddler that he had ever heard. Ed Haley's recordings was like home recordings, and they had been recorded near the end of his life, and it took a lot of cleanup to even try to get the tunes that we have. The one we're getting ready to do is called Half Past 4. Now, Ed Haley, we're quite sure, wrote the tune Half Past 4. And it is to document or maybe celebrate the fact that a little baby was born. But unfortunately, the little baby died. So it's very sad in that way. But it's wonderful to have the tune Half Past 4 because we like to celebrate the fact that the little baby was born, and it is a happy tune. But it's a sad event. So here goes Half Past 4. started here.
Cooley's real? Any of that?
Pardon?
Cooley's real?
Sure. Cooley's real. Well, you know, my Uncle Clark, he listened to a lot of different music, and that was one of the things he taught me when I was growing up. And Bobby, he also taught Bobby a little bit. I taught him a whole lot. And what was that he told you about playing like him?
Clark always said, you know, when, you know, he was a very improvisational fiddler, many years ahead of his time. And when Clark played a tune, he rarely played it the same way twice. And he always said, you know, you need to kind of play a tune like you play it, you know, because the thing is, you can never beat somebody in a contest if you're trying to play exactly like that person. You can't beat a person on their own tune, is the bottom line.
But another thing that Clark did, he himself had favorite musicians. Him being a West Virginia fiddler, you wouldn't think about some of his influences. He loved to listen to all the classical violinists when they came through Charleston. And believe it or not, one of his favorite musicians was a classical banjo player named Fred Van Epps. And what he did was he borrowed different techniques from these players and added it to his fiddling. And this is very uncharacteristic of some of the West Virginia music, but nevertheless, it's in a roundabout way, it's one of the things I learned how to listen to from Uncle Clark. This is called Joe Cooley's Reel, and it's a Celtic tune. Thank you. Thank you.
You watch? Sure. Shot. Well, here's a tune from yet another genre. Most of the guys that do the flat pick style guitar listen to a handful of, they usually have 4 or 5 people that they cite as influence. Doc Watson being one, Tony Rice is usually one, and this guy Django Reinhardt, who was a jazz player that usually, due to an accident, only used these 2 fingers on his left hand. He had, I think, some facility with these 2 for chording, but they were damaged due to a fire. He played the most amazing guitar in the world with 2 fingers. We still don't know how he did that. But he had this song called Nuage. I think what's that mean? Clouds? Is that the?
I think so.
Yeah,
Clouds.
I'm not sure, but nonetheless, it's a very intriguing composition. I couldn't figure out how to play it until I looked up a chord melody arrangement online. I heard it, Willie Nelson play it in concert, and I thought, well, if Willie can play it, I can play it. I can't sing as good as he can, or I can't write as good as he can, but I can play. If Willie can play it, then I can play it. So I looked up the chord melody thing and came up with this arrangement. And Robin and I have been kind of hashing this out over the last month or so. So if there's a bad note or something, no charge for mistakes. But it's called Nuage, and we'll give it a shot here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Thank you.
This is another tune that we learned from Clark Kessinger. Turkey in a Straw is a great dance tune, and we're going to play a little bit of that one for you. He had a lot of drive in his playing, and he was just an extremely good dance fiddler. I once heard that Clark Kessinger could talk very well and play the fiddle at the same time. I never could do that. I understand that he was once at this square dance, and he was talking about fox chasing or something with a friend while he was playing for the dance. And somebody said, well, Mr. Kessinger, the dance is finished. Oh, okay, then he ended it. So, Turkey in the Straw.
Play real fast, Bob. Real fast.
Thank you, dancers.
You know, Clark Kessinger always said, if this music, if you're going to play this old-time music, you got to put the power in it. And the thing is, if it doesn't make you want to dance, then you haven't achieved what you need to do.
Sounds good. Well, I think we got time for a couple more here. Bobby you got some CDs back there, right? Rob and I have got a new CD out, and we're going to play one more kind of slow swing thing, and before we end up with something more nervous, some kind of hoedown. You want to try the old spinning wheel?
Let's do the old spinning
Let's
wheel.
do the old spinning wheel. What key do we do that in?
I believe we do it in A, don't we?
You're correct.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That was just I just guessed that.
You get
It was
bonus
the first
points.
letter in the alphabet.
You get bonus points for that.
All right.
You don't get paid anything extra, but you know. Here we go. 2, 3. solos. I'll just play rhythm on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have time for just
Well, we get number a couple if you want.
more? Okay. We're going to play a tune now that I should pick up the other mic, I guess. You're the one. We're going to do a tune now that is probably the tune I get more requests for than any other tune. Clark Kessinger really took this tune, reworked it, made it his, and added all kinds of acrobatics to it. When I've taught, there's been so many people that, students that is, I thought that no one would ever have the triple bow jump again. Clark taught me the triple bow jump after his stroke. His left hand no longer, he couldn't note with it anymore. And, but I thought at 16, 17 years old that his right hand still worked, and I wanted that triple bow jump. So he sat in a straight back chair, just pretty much like the one I'm sitting in here, and I did the noting, and he did the bowing. So that's how I learned the triple bow jump. So here we go with Jurang's hornpipe.
Yes, sir.
I think that's about it. We want to thank the sound techs for the great job that they've done.
Great job.
Makes
Absolutely.
it
Thank
so
you.
much easier for us. And I think that's about it for us. Thank you for coming out. Come back and
Thank
see us at the
everybody.
CD table.
Thank you very much.
Bill Cheatham? Bill Cheatham? Here's one more quick one for you called Bill Cheatham.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, we've really enjoyed this, and I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive, and you guys sitting up here, I just have to play this song one time before I leave. And it's a guitar national anthem, and then I promise you we'll quit, okay? So it's a guitar, every guitar player should know this tune. And if you're playing, I suggest that you try to learn it. If I can get through it. You've heard that before, right? Oh, man. All right. Well, that's it. It'll be all right. Don't worry about it. All right. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you.